Oja, greetings. Are you able to hear me? Oops. And see me? If you are able to see or hear, please type in the chat. Uja, dua sun saya. Never. And are you able to see the slides on the screen? Now, the question will be, am I able to see the slides and see you on the screen? Uja, are you able to see the slides, Nee? Okay, do a heads up. So welcome to the Reshert Sherety Uaa meditation. Let me start the recording. It is being recorded. So as you can see, we are here on Monday, August 1st, 2022 for our 5 a.m. Reshert Sherety Uaa meditation. This is a focus on Nuk Reshert, I am Bliss, and this is a Bliss meditation, wisdom meditation that is generally or usually led by Seba Dja, and beginning today, Asar, myself, will be filling in to facilitate in once a month generally, or mornings when Seba Dja is unable to participate. And so she does ask to remind us all to review the 622 program introduction. It's a longer introduction. It gives details about the myrrh. And then there are additional videos of Seba Dja in Kemet in the Temple of the Holy of the Holies, actually teaching about the meditation. So you are strongly encouraged to go back and watch that original meditation video. So we will begin first looking at the location of our scripture for today. That location is in the Temple of Luxor. Let me make sure you're still able to see the screen. This is in the Southern Sanctuary. My apologies. I'm just trying. Okay, that should be good. So my apologies. The screen is not exactly cooperating with me. Okay. This should work. So we are in the Temple of Luxor, and due to all the sages who have brought forth this temple and this mystical spiritual practice. So as we begin, we start with a focus of activating the breath with conscious breathing. To invite you to be sitting comfortably, either with your back straight or lying down. and begin to focus on your breath. Let me once again try to get my slides right. And we're going to start with conscious, proper breathing. Inhaling through your nostrils with your mouth closed. Exhaling, keeping the mouth closed. So inhaling, expanding your abdomen fully. Exhaling, contracting the abdomen back to the spine. Now, I invite you to begin by activating your altar. We are using myrrh. Myrrh promotes calm, emotions, a balanced mind, and promotes gur, which is silence. And silence is needed to have the exchange of our egoism for our divine self, Amun-Ra. Some precautions with myrrh. It is not to be used by pregnant women, as it can cause early labor, or by women who have uterine conditions, which can cause contractions. An alternative to myrrh is sandalwood. Now let's deepen the breath. We're going to move to the rhythmic 3-part breathing. The rhythmic 3-part breathing involves inhaling at the abdomen, inhaling again at the chest, inhaling a third time up to the shoulders, keeping the mouth closed as you then exhale, releasing the air back down to the shoulders, chest, and contracting your abdomen all the way to your spine. So practicing the 3-part breath, your own pace. Allow yourself to find gentle rhythm. You're sitting comfortably, your spine is straight. You can close your eyes. We'll be chanting in order to fill our sacred space with sacred vibrations. The chanting of Om, as found in the ancient Egyptian Leiden papyrus between 400 BCE to 0 ACE. Om translates in the context of He whose name is hidden from all the gods is thy name. Om. Mighty Om is the name. Om. Continuing your chant. Silently in your sacred space. As we continue the chant, in order to begin our meditation, we focus a bit on the concept of forgiveness, as having forgiveness is essential for joy and bliss. Forgiveness involves releasing the negative RU, frustration, grudges, and resentments. As the remembrance of Amun, the wrath of the angry man dies down. He speaks the gentle word at the moment of strife. So if you're angered by a misdeed, lean toward a man on account of his rightness. Pass over the misdeed and don't remember it, since God was silent to you on the first day of your misdeed. One cannot force another to grow beyond their capacity. So forgive others and forgive yourself. These texts come from Egyptian Yoga, Volume 2. So our text is a sacred text. You may open your eyes. And this meditation is a wisdom meditation. So we will be going through the slides as we continue to practice our breathing. So continue inhaling for your 3-part breath, exhaling for your 3-part breath. If we were at the ancient sacred temple of Luxor, Ipet Resyt, the southern sanctuary, located here, it's what's called the Holy of Holies sanctuary. And this is where the statue of the god or goddesses was kept in the dark, and where the scriptures for the meditation are held. Before we enter the Holy of Holies, we pass by the sacred lake and we say, Nuk Ab, I am pure. So we are cleansed and washed in the sacred lake as we move back towards the Holy of Holies, the sanctuary. Continuing a 3-part breath. This is an image of the temple as you are walking in towards the Holy of Holies. This is the open court. Here, Reshert Sherety Uaa, our meditation, stands for Joy-Bliss breathing the Divinity. It is the process of obtaining ecstasy, of switching our awareness from our ego to the fullness of our divine nature. And again, here in the image, you can see the text that we are using for the Reshert Sherety Uaa. And on the right is a closer reflection of the image and the scripture. This is in the 4 columns center room, which has 4 columns in the southeast area of the sanctuary. Continuing your breathing, your 3-part breath. There's another image to show this area of the sanctuary, and then we have reconstruction on the left-hand side and the right-hand side of the panel that we will be reviewing. in the 4-column room. And continuing your 3-part breath, and breathing. We go deeper into the sanctuary. Here's another image of the panel, allowing you to see somewhat closer the text in the upper right-hand corner, and the images upon which we'll focus during the wisdom meditation. Here is a close image of the Reshert Sherety hieroglyphic panel. There has been some damage, but Seba Dja was able to sufficiently translate the text. Continue our breathing. This is an image of the Reshert Sherety panel, helping us first focus on humility as we see there is an offering of ourself. And this this offering is a reflection of our effort. It's the offering of the myrrh symbolizing our self-effort in making the offering of the self, being an act of humility. So our second focus, the bliss breathing, we're inhaling the myrrh, tells us that this text gives us the essence of the scripture, which is, I am abiding joy. Nuk is I am abiding joy. The text references the contextual translation. It is a beautiful, blissful experience to breathe in divinity through the nostrils and experience the ecstasy of switching the awareness of the ego personality to the fullness of my divine nature instead. So as we take in each breath, we are focusing on the bliss, the abiding joy that is offered and will be offered through the practice of this meditation. From the Egyptian Mysteries Volume Book, Volume 3, The Priests and Priestesses of Ancient Egypt by Seba Dja, we see a dedication to the Hemu, the priests and priestesses of Kemet. This dedication reads, how happy are they, the priests and priestesses who celebrate your majesty, O great divinity, and who do not cease serving your temple. Those priests and priestesses who elevate your power, exalt your grandeur, and fill their heart with you. Those priests and priestesses who go on your path and come to your water and are concerned with your majesty's plans. It would be the enlightened and advanced and purified priests and priestesses who would provide the service in this part of the temple in the Holy of the Holies, and who would have access to this scripture. So as you continue to breathe, keep a gentle smile during the Reshert Sherety Bliss Breath Meditation, reflecting the Reshert bliss, the abiding joy that you are at your essence. Now we will continue with our deep rhythmic breathing of the Myrrh and the Reshert Bliss Breath as you listen to the scripture for this transposition, this exchange, this switch with Amun-Ra Nebuchadnezzar. So continuing to inhale, 3-part breath, exhaling, releasing the breath. The scripture involves 7 columns on the south wall. Nesubiti Nebtawi. This is the sovereign of Upper and Lower Egypt, who is the head of the 2 lands. Breathing in, exhaling out. Neb Ma'at Ra, royal name of the Pharaoh, Lord of the truth of the Creator Spirit. Neter Nefer, the royal person is a good divinity in their capacity of likening themselves to their true nature as one with the divine. Meduje Ari K N Hehu. These words are about an accomplishment for your experience of eternity. Uhem Ken Hehu Im. And then after that, repeating the experience of eternity by means of Andu Men Ka Ke. Knowing, becoming, permanently enlightened, knowing your own generative power. An NK Hair Chest Nep Kemet Anti N Punt An N Bao Jed Ba Suten N Nebs Tem Ankh Was Neb Amun Ra Neb Het. This process involves bringing something special to your personality that comes from a great foreign land. It is a particular gum, sap of myrrh, that comes from the land of Punt, bringing it to the souls. This process means an exchange of the royal personality for the Lord of completion, Ra Tem, the God of final outcomes with all true living power. This is Amun-Ra, the union of witnessing consciousness, creator spirit, and soul. Amun Asar Ra, and the Lord of heaven. This is the scripture of the exchange with Amun-Ra Nebuchadnezzar, your true Reshert blissful self. Reshert Sherety Uaa. Joy-Bliss breathing, the Divinity. It is a blissful experience to breathe in divinity, through the nostrils and experience the ecstasy of switching the awareness of ego personality to the fullness of my divine nature instead. And on the panel, we see the royal person holding a statue of themselves in a kneeling position, holding an unguent cone containing the myrrh resin, so as to practice the ritual inscribed on the panel and thereby experience the benefits described. So thus the royal person procures, they do the spiritual work that's necessary. The resin that will be used to promote their own movement of enlightenment through the practice of inhaling the myrrh when resin with a conscious desire to switch places with the divine is present. So therefore they're realizing that there is no difference between oneself and God, and thereby becoming enlightened to the fact of the illusoriness of individuality and egoism, and the discovery and acceptance of the deeper nature of the individual, which is the transcendent external spirit being within. In the hymns of Amun, verse 25, Amun-Ra is a pleasant Reshert breeze to the one that appeals to him. In the scripture, we see the nose breathing in the myrrh. We continue to breathe. Pleasantness of the myrrh. Now breathing in divinity, you may close your eyes if you have them open. Allowing yourself breathe in that you have made this exchange of your ego personality with your true divine nature. And we're going to continue with the phase 1, where we're focusing on the Sherety phase. This is on the tip of the nostril, where we are continuing our rhythmic 3-part breathing through our nostrils, being aware of the odor of the myrrh as it enters the nostrils, breathing in the divinity, breathing in the Reshert. Sherety means nose, breath, and breathing. This is what's highlighted in the Kemetic texts in the temples. Being aware of the odor of the birth, the myrrh as it enters your nostrils. Allowing your eyes to be closed, body to be relaxed. Inhaling the myrrh resin with a conscious desire to switch places with the divine, realizing that there is no difference between oneself and God, thereby becoming enlightened to the fact of the illusoriness of individuality and egoism, and the discovery and acceptance of the deeper nature of the individual, which is the transcendent, eternal spirit being within. Nuk Reshert. Nuk Reshert. Now we will have our Bliss Breath visualizations. So you can open your eyes. This is phase 2, the Hetep offering ritual visualization with the 3-part breathing. You continue your 3-part breath. We are affirming Nuk, I am Amun Ra Nebuchadnezzar, the embodiment of the Reshert Bliss. So we are visualizing the scripture as we take in and exhale our 3-part breath, affirming Amun Ra Nebuchadnezzar, that we are the embodiment of the bliss of the breath. Our phase 3 is the statue holding the myrrh offering. This symbolizes humility. Our offering symbolizes the surrender as we offer ourself and we put forth self-effort in that offering. By offering ourselves, we are offering Hetep, supreme peace, and we are transcending duality. The Hetep slab in the reconstruction shows the offering symbolizing humility and the effort that we are putting forth in order to exchange the ego self for the divine. Inhaling, looking upon the ritual offering of the myrrh, seeing yourself as the divine personality, making this effort, offering yourself as an act of humility, as an act of surrender. Nuk, I am Amun Ra Nebuchadnezzar. Phase 4 is the chanting of the Reshert Sherety Uaa and transposing into abiding joy. You may close your eyes if your eyes are open. The Hekau is Reshert Sherety Uaa. It embodies the intention of the whole process. Again, the text is Reshert Sherety Uaa, meaning it is a blissful experience to breathe in divinity through the nostrils and experience the ecstasy of switching the awareness of the ego personality to the fullness of the divine instead. So you will be chanting out loud on your exhalations. Your inhalation will be coordinated with my chant of the Reshert Sherety Uaa. So as I recite Reshert Sherety Uaa, you will inhale, and then as you exhale, you will chant out loud, Reshert Sherety Uaa. So inhaling, Reshert Sherety Uaa. Reshert Sherety Uaa. Reshert Sherety Uaa. Reshert Sherety Uaa. As you continue chanting, you can become silent, continuing in your deep breathing. Reshert Sherety Uaa. Coordinate the heck out with your breathing in and out. As you coordinate the heck out with your breathing, know that the heck out embodies the blissful experience of breathing in divinity. It's a transposition, a switch with Amun-Ra Nebuchadnezzar, switching the ego personality. Silently chanting. Reshert Sherety Uaa. It is a blissful experience to breathe in divinity through the nostrils and experience the ecstasy of switching the awareness of the ego personality to the fullness of my divine nature instead. Now we will move to phase 5, where we activate the Sefek Bara, the 7 souls of Ra. We have continued silent chanting of Reshert Sherety Uaa, coordinating your breath as you inhale and exhale. To activate the Sefek Bara, as you exhale, you will visualize the life force energy coming down from the crown to the base of the spine. And as you inhale up, bringing the energy from the base of the spine up to the crown of the head. So seeing yourself drawing the energy up as you inhale from centers 1 through 7, and then back down from centers 7 to 1. This process involves bringing something special to your personality that comes from a great foreign land. It is a particular gum or sap of myrrh that comes from the land of Punt, bringing it to the souls. So as we are breathing in the myrrh, inhaling up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to the crown, we are bringing this special myrrh. And as we exhale down, we are bringing it to all the souls of Ra. Continuing your chant. Reshert Sherety Uaa. Inhaling from the base of your spine, all the way up to the crown, through chakras 1 through 7, your life force energy centers. Returning back down as you exhale through energy centers 7 to 1. Continue here for a moment. Reshert Sherety Uaa. Bringing the breath in from the base of the spine up through 7 souls of Ra. Exhaling, returning the breath back down. Continuing to silently chant. You're activating the Seba Dja. Reshert Sherety Uaa. Reshert Sherety Uaa. Activating the Seba Dja. 7 souls of Ra. continue our chanting, bringing the life force energy through the seven souls, up from the base of the spine to the crown, returning back down from the crown to the base of the spine. Reshert Sherety Uaa. In phase 6, we will have a focus on the third eye, the sixth Sefek Bara. We're going to continue with our deep breathing, coordinated with the silent chanting of the Hekau, and then begin to bring your attention to the third eye area, as if you are breathing into your third eye. Reshert Sherety Uaa. So you're silently chanting. Your focus and your intention is on your sixth Sefek Bara, your sixth energy center chakra, right at the third eye, the space between your eyebrows, as if breathing in to that third eye. Coordinating the Reshert Sherety Uaa. You're bringing that attention to the third eye area, to focusing, breathing, silently chanting. Reshert Sherety Uaa. Continue to coordinate the deep rhythmic breathing and your silent chanting, focusing at your third eye. Reshert Sherety Uaa. Joy, bliss, breathing, the divinity. You'll stay here for an extended time. Continue your rhythmic breathing, your silent chanting, focusing at the third eye. Reshert Sherety Uaa. Reshert Sherety Uaa. Continuing to keep the focus at the third eye, the sixth energy center. Continuing your rhythmic breathing, your silent chanting. It is a blissful experience. Breathe in divinity through the nostrils. Experience the ecstasy of switching the awareness of the ego personality to the fullness of my divine nature instead. Reshert Sherety Uaa. Reshert Sherety Uaa. Focusing at the third eye, sixth energy center. Silently chanting. Offering up thyself, surrendering this blissful experience as you breathe in the divinity through the nostrils, experiencing the ecstasy, switching awareness of your ego personality to the fullness of your divine nature instead. Reshert Sherety Uaa. Continuing our deep breathing, our silent chanting, our focus at the third eye. Reshert Sherety Uaa. Reshert Sherety Uaa. And we will transition to phase 7, the seventh Sefak Bara, where we are actualizing the transposition, the Nuk Reshert, I am Reshert. You're going to bring your awareness to the crown of your head, the seventh Sefak Bara. This is the abode of true self, here as Nebuchadnezzar Amun-Ra, the source of Reshert, the source of the abiding joy. The stream of Reshert that you have been breathing in has flowed into the ocean of Reshert, and you are that Reshert. So your awareness is at the crown of your head, at the seventh energy center. This is the actualizing of the exchange. Here you're letting go of your focus on the breath and the myrrh and the chant. Feel and visualize yourself as Nuk Amun-Ra Nebuchadnezzar. You are actualizing the transposition. Feeling and visualizing yourself as Nuk Amun-Ra Nebuchadnezzar. I am transcendental, eternal, spirit being. Nuk Amun Ra Nebuchadnezzar. Feel and visualize yourself Amun Ra Nebuchadnezzar, the transcendental being, the eternal spirit being. Visualize yourself now. Feel yourself as Amun Ra Nebuchadnezzar, as the embodiment of Reshert, Nuk Reshert. I am abiding joy. I am abiding bliss. Allow yourself to feel and visualize yourself as Amun Ra Nebuchadnezzar. Nuk Reshert. Nuk Reshert. I am abiding joy. Nuk Reshert. Nuk Reshert. Nuk Reshert. Nuk Reshert. I am abiding joy. I am abiding bliss. Nuk Reshert. Nuk Reshert. I am abiding joy. I am abiding bliss. Nuk Reshert. Here we are, having visualized ourselves as Amun Ra Nebuchadnezzar, the embodiment of the Reshert, with our focus on the crown of our 7 souls of Ra. We will move to phase 8, the integrative phase. We'll begin to exhale the life force back down from 7 through 6 through 5 through 4 through 3 through 2 through 1. Souls of Ra, inhaling back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we begin to integrate that transposition of the 7 souls of Ra, allowing the Arat Sekhem, that serpent power energy from the 7th Sefak Bara, the 7th psycho-spiritual energy center, to recalibrate, to balance, and to realign with the lower energy centers that relate to our royal personality, to the mind and the body, to our time and space existence. So we integrate again by bringing that serpent power energy down from 7 through 6 through 5 through 4 through 3 through 2 to 1. Inhaling it back up again. Infusing the Reshert Sherety, that serpent power energy that we have transposed with the divine in the 7th energy center. We are integrating, bringing that energy back down through the other 7 souls and bringing it up again. So we integrate it fully through all of the 7 Sefak-Bara, all of the psycho-spiritual energy centers. I mean, integrating your breath, integrating that serpent power, life force energy throughout the 7 psycho-spiritual centers. Inhaling and bringing the serpent power energy up. Exhaling, moving the energy down so that all the energy centers may be infused, recalibrated, balanced, realigned. With the energy from the 7th center. This is the integration phase where we are allowing the Reshert Sherety, the life force serpent power energy that we have been cultivating at the 7th energy center, 7th psycho-spiritual energy center, by bringing that life force energy down through the other 6 energy centers and back up again through the 6 energy centers. We are recalibrating and balancing. We are aligning and infusing all of the lower energy centers that relate to our personality, our mind, our body, and all that we are in time and space existence. Just continuing for a moment to continue to realign and recalibrate by breathing, bringing the life force energy down and back up. Moving through the 7 souls of Ra. Phase 9 is bringing the Myrrh to the souls, integrated phase. So as you continue to balancing the Sefak-Bara with your breath, you're breathing in, inhaling up to the 7th, exhaling down to the 1st. Taking the life force down from the 7th as you exhale. Inhale up from the 1st. You now want to also once again become aware of the odor of the myrrh so that it's incorporated into the breathing. So we're continuing the balancing as per prescribed in the scripture. Right? This is the process involving where you're bringing something special to your personality, that is the myrrh, that comes from a great foreign land. It's a particular sap. And the myrrh comes from the land of Punt, bringing it to the souls. So you're becoming aware of your breath and your breathing, incorporating the myrrh so that it too may help to balance and recalibrate the 7 souls of Ra. Continuing to balance your breath, noticing myrrh, sacred odors. We're going to add back in the chant. This is the adding back in the chant integrative aspect of this phase. So as you're continuing balancing the Sefak Bara with the breath, you all now also become aware of the odor of the myrrh, and you can recite the chant. Reshert Sherety Uaa. Reshert Sherety Uaa. The chant is as if it's being breathed through your nostrils. Exhaling down as you Reshert Sherety Uaa. Inhaling up to Reshert Sherety Uaa. Breathing with the chant as if the chant is being breathed through the nostrils. Abiding joy and bliss. Reshert Sherety Uaa. Reshert Sherety Uaa. You can open your eyes now. Gently open your eyes. And breathe normally. Still abide in the fullness of your divine nature as Reshert, as the bliss. See yourself Nuk Reshert, standing firm with the abiding full nature of the divine, standing as one with you. Our concluding reflections, again, you may open your eyes if you have not, and look around you at all the items, all the things that you have brought into your home. Realize that none of them can make you truly happy. None of them can make you truly unhappy. Our happiness abides within us, and it cannot be disturbed. My happiness is abiding, and it cannot be disturbed because it is who I am. Reflect on the profundity of this temple of the Reshert Sherety panel. Reflect that what I have been running around in the world for lifetimes, doing and trying to find, is all external. Yet it is right here, right now. It is me. That is the Nebuchadnezzar Amun-Ra, me. Nuk Nebuchadnezzar Amun-Ra, Nuk Reshert. I am abiding happiness. My true essence is abiding happiness. My mystic, true Nebuchadnezzar Amun-Ra self is Reshert, abiding happiness. Reflect that what is needed to access abiding joy and abiding peace is effacement of egoism and awareness of one's true transcendental Nebuchadnezzar self. That's all. Simply gaining awareness, realizing our true transcendental Nebuchadnezzar self. Reflect on the profundity of that. Reflect on the resources now that you need to gather to affect your own mystic ego personality, your divine, true Reshert self that has transpositioned, that has switched with the divine. Perhaps reflect and journal on some of the practices or some of the practical resources that you are going to need to gather to infuse your Sherety practice. This may change as you spiritually raise up in your consciousness, but it's important to be aware of and to begin to reflect on what are those practical resources that you're going to need. These can be things like your inspirational statues, they could be images of the divine, perhaps creating your own shrine, your own altar space, right? Decorating your sacred space and keeping it sacred for your Sherety practices. And then doing your Sherety to create the resource of spiritual strength and valor, and building up your Ma'ati and purity and expanding your consciousness. That's all that's needed in order for this switch, for this transposition to take place. So go forth into your day, exuding the fragrance of Reshert, of bliss. One practical approach for integrating with other personalities as you interact with other people is to hold cheerfulness, gentleness, and pleasantness. So have cheerfulness towards those who are more evolved, preceptors, your teachers. Have pleasantness towards your peers, the other Shems, people in your spiritual community, and have gentleness and compassion to those who are struggling or who may be less evolved and have not yet had the blessings of the Reshert. Finally, to those who may have evil or be very, very dull, you can have a stance of indifference. So these are powerful ways to go forth, maintaining the fragrance of the Reshert, maintaining your joy, maintaining your bliss. Having cheerfulness towards the more evolved, pleasantness toward your peers, gentleness and compassion to those who are struggling or less evolved, and indifference to those that are dull or express ego. Our closing chants from our devotional worship book of Shatout Neter. Ma'aranku ma'at, ma'at nebuten, kahen ma'at, anghen ma'at, hasim ma'at, dua ma'at nebuten. Ma'at is the source of life. Ma'at is everywhere you are. Rise in the morning with Ma'at. Live with Ma'at. Let every limb join with Ma'at. Let her guide your actions. Adorations to the goddess Ma'at, who is everywhere you are. Amasu empaneta. Sauksu empaneta. Aduanu maketi paharu. 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 Keti paharu. Give thyself to God. Keep thou thyself daily for God. And let tomorrow be as today. Dua and Hetep. There's Asar Ma'at. Thanking you for joining in our meditation, our Reshert Sherety meditation today. If anyone has any questions or anything you'd like to share, you're welcome to write that in the chat. If not, I wish you peace and blessing, and that you may go forth Nuk Reshert, having a blessed day with abiding joy and bliss. So what does Amun Ra Nebuchadnezzar mean in relation to Om Amun Ra Ptah? So Amun Ra Nebuchadnezzar, it's just a different emphasis on the multiple expressions of the divine. So Amun Ra Nebuchadnezzar are the sort of three phases of Nebuchadnezzar, three phases of the divine, Nebuchadnezzar being the subtlest. Amun Ra Ptah are also three expressions of the divine, three divinities. So Amun being the witnessing consciousness, Ra being the sun, and Ptah being the physical form. So it's a reflection of Amun Ra Ptah is the mind, the body, the spirit, and Amun Ra Nebuchadnezzar is a similar reflection, but Nebuchadnezzar is the ultimate essence. Nebuchadnezzar is the um, divine that has no form, has no expression, whereas Amun Ra and Ptah are different forms or realms of consciousness and expression of the divine. Does that answer? Also, Amun Ra Asar is a different emphasis too, Ni. So Asar being a different representation of the divinity. So they're each subtle uh, forces, separate forces of the divine, yet they all represent the same underlying essence. In the practice of Shatat Natur, which is a henotheistic um, religion or spiritual practice, all of the divine divinities are divine forces of the one underlying essence. They're all forces of Nebuchadnezzar. And so it's whenever you're calling the names or doing a different chant or doing a hekau, you are simply just placing emphasis on different forces of the divine or expressions of the divine. Mhm. Did that sufficiently respond? Any other reflections, comments? What does the witnessing consciousness focus on in relation to this meditation? So the witnessing consciousness, Amun, is the force or the aspect of us that sees ourself in time and space. It's sort of the aspect of the mind that is witnessing and seeing our sort of expression of ourselves in terms of the ego, in terms of the personality. And it says, is the witnessing consciousness the primary emphasis here? So Amun is the deity that reflects the witnessing consciousness. If I can pull back up the slide again. So here, this is Amun, and the statues and the images are sort of representing how the witnessing consciousness, right, is standing behind us, or standing behind the royal personality. The royal personality is our physical body in time and space. It's the mind. And so the witnessing consciousness is the aspect of us that can see us or see the part of us that's in time and space. It's the divine force that witnesses our manifestation of ourself in time and space. And so a part of practicing this meditation is building sort of the force of our awareness of our witnessing consciousness and bringing that forth, switching out the personality, the ego aspect of ourself with the force of ourself that is aware of our divine nature, of our divine essence, that is our divine nature and divine essence. And as we go forth in our daily life, our daily activity, walking with that awareness, walking with our moon awareness, the awareness of our divinity in our consciousness, in our mind. Oops, I'm not sure if I was sharing that. I was trying to share this image. Sometimes Amun is standing and other times Amun is sitting on the throne. Is there significance with these representations that is pertinent to this meditation too? So I would generally say that these are just different presentations of the meditation. Seba Dja chose to select the images that we're using, and so I can't speak exactly to the choice, but both of them are representing. They're different representations. So one is a zoomorphic, one is an anthropomorphic representation. So one, the Amun is in the form of a ram, right? And so that's showing one sort of symbolism. And then in the other, Amun is sitting on the throne. And so he's not in the animal form, but in the anthropomorphic, more human form. So I think it's in this instance, it's just an opportunity to show the different ways in which the deity is and can be represented. And, for the mind, having these different representations, it is a way of being able to, grasp or hold on to the imagery or use the imagery to help us integrate it. Anything else? So dua, everyone. Tap, and again, thank you for joining. I see there's another comment. In the course of the week, does the ram protecting the real personality pertain to imagery for us to use? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So part of the practice in ancient times of placing the iconography and the glyphs in the temples and using the imagery, using visualization, is to help the mind in the realization of the divine, in the realization of the divinity. And so using that imagery, whether it's the zoomorphic or anthropomorphic imagery, focusing on that, visualizing it, taking a screenshot, placing it as a visual that you can see, um, definitely can be used as a reminder to help refocus your attention on your divine essence and to help you engender that feeling and that sense of the divine, the joy and the bliss that you were aspiring to during the meditation. So very, very powerful image to hold on to and to carry with you through the week. I mean, if you could just think of yourself, just in any situation, having that much power and that much force behind you, as a support, like there's nothing, that you cannot encounter with that level of support, love, guidance, protection. I particularly like the image of the ram because it's like you are fully being armored with the force of Amun. Is this Amun representation the real force that is behind the energy that manifests through ignorance as Set? So energy that manifests through ignorance as Set. So when you say manifest through ignorance as Set, how I would understand that, if I'm understanding you right, so Set is our egoism. And when we operate from a position of ego, as if that is our true self, then yes, we are operating with ignorance. And so the force of Amun, the force of our witnessing consciousness, gives us an awareness of ourself, of our true essence as the divine, and helps to remove the duality that comes when we, solely or predominantly identify with the ego, identify with our Setian nature. So by utilizing the Amun force, by bringing forth the witnessing consciousness, we are seeing and able to see that we are not just the ego. There is no separation. We are one. We are the divine. And so it is a powerful and important force, right? Visualization, meditation, in order to use, in order to cleanse the illusion of the self as the ego. And is that something you were thinking of doing in terms of um, practicing with the imagery, or taking the imagery with you throughout the week? No, never. And if you've been doing it, how has it been serving you? And I don't know if I can allow you to unmute. I can try. Let's see. You wanted to speak. Let's see. So I tried. It says you're not connected to the meeting. You may be able to. Nope. So that's Nefer. I do see in the chat that it's been a real blessing. And I do advocate and encourage that, as a part of your Shetty practice, and informally relying on and integrating the practice, daily, and in your walking, activities as you're walking through the day, walking through the world. So that's Nefer Dua. I'm glad it's having an impact. And that's what the sages, why they provided them for us, so that we could take them and utilize them. So I think it's another aspect of the mental nature of the universe. It appears that the power is already present but needs to be acknowledged. So that's what the meditation and the practice is emphasizing, that we already are divine. We already have this nature, and everything is the mind, and it is just our ignorance, and our lack of realization, our lack of awareness, that leads to the problems and the difficulties. But that the universe and all is already all. You said, and in my experiences, I noted I'm usually distracted by previous teachings that obscure the nature of this Amun essence and the presence of this witnessing consciousness. I could see how that may be the case, and depending on whatever previous teachings you may be referring to. Certainly, if their teachings, in Western religious and spiritual traditions or non-mystical spiritual traditions, then yes, they are going to distract one from knowing one's true essence. And what you find in practicing the meditation is that you become more and more established in that energy and the witnessing consciousness, and it being a part of how you then walk through the world. Spirant writes, it seems that the set egoism is actually obscuring this reality and needs to be counterbalanced by another teaching that is higher. So, Ni, if I'm understanding you again, it's the set and the egoism is our relative reality that most of us walk around with and that we come into the world, ignorant with. And again, most religious traditions that don't have a mystical component, and even Western, psychological practices, they focus on, the ego. They focus on that aspect of the personality, and most of what we are socialized with in society, in the mystical society that we operate, um, leads us towards egoism, leads us towards a focus on that being the self and not aware or ignorant of the true nature, the divine nature of our essence. Noted, like for instance, the neurons and mental references from the past seem to reinforce this egoism as being the core reality and verify a mystical reality versus true abiding reality. Me. So those neurons and mental references are what we call ARI. ARI or REU, right? The sum total of the impressions that have been placed in the mind by our experiences, right? Our ARI are our actions, the um, impressions that get placed in the heart or on the heart and in the mind. And those impressions then shape how we view the world and how we operate in the world. And again, for most in an amystical society, those impressions seek to expand and elevate the ego, our set faculties, and that gets obscured, and that gets reinforced. And the ego tells us that that's most beneficial until you discover your true essence, until you experience your true essence through Sherety practice and through meditation. Um, One stays ignorant. During the day, are there other things to do to shut down negative impressions other than breathing and heck out repetition? My first thought is, what else have you tried? So certainly other practices like visualization and becoming silent, right? Using the breath and using the heck out repetition are very powerful. In practice on a daily basis. I don't know how much if you are using the breath and using the heck out, but they are very effective. They really work, and oftentimes, we just don't remember to use them. But if you use them, you will see an impact. You will notice their capacity to cleanse and to purify the negative thoughts and the negative impressions. But cleansing you know, pouring libations, doing physical, cleansing, just, showering in water, bath, those forms of also purification, pouring libation, those forms of practice also during the day can help when one is engaged in or finding oneself having the negative impressions come up. I see in the chat it says, I did not try using them with the visualization, but I found them to be helpful too. Me. So my practice greatly uses the Hekau and breathing, Hekau representation, less so the visualization. But depending on, the personality, you may find that the visualization is more helpful, right? Like some people need the visualization more than, the auditory or the mental representation. Sometimes wearing, symbols, Kemetic symbols, and, can be helpful, visual reminders, as well, to keep your attention focused on or coming back to the teachings. Even, clothing, typically, for ritual practices and ritual activities, we wear white in the tradition. And so sometimes even the wearing of white clothing, when you are particularly being challenged with negative impressions, can be a practice to help combat the negative impressions. Another, it's like another form of reflecting on the cleansing and the purification. Dua, glad that's helpful. Yeah. So any other reflections? Dua, I appreciate you and your reflections and the questions. This was very nefer. So do continue your practice, however long or short. Do continue to take the Hekau, the Nuk Reshert, the Reshert Sherety Uaa. Take that with you during the course of the day. Use it as a powerful reflection. Amun Ra Nebuchadnezzar, recitation of all the Hekaus can be cleansing to the mind and can be implanting or integrating that positive Ari during the day and throughout the week. So do it, everyone. Hatep, thank you for joining, and we'll see you again next week.